Good afternoon and welcome to my informative presentation on depression in the United States. Neglected cause. I want you to think about this number, 45,979. It really doesn't sound like much just as a number itself, but would you be surprised to learn that that is the amount of people who died from suicide in the year 2020? Yes, it's a startling fact and one that I found myself shocked at when doing research for this cause. An estimated 21 million Americans have had at least one major depressive episode in their lifetime, and this is according to the National Institute of Mental Health Statistics from 2020. The prevalence is higher among adult females by 4.3% as compared to males, and individuals aged 18 to 25 have the highest frequency of depressive episodes among adults. Only 2/3 of those affected with depression aged 18 or older sought treatment according to those same statistics. Recent spikes in depression. So on screen, I have a chart showing the increasing percentage of adults diagnosed with depression in the United States, and these statistics are from 2011 up until 2018. So as you can see, the percentage started at around 17.5% in 2011 and has increased to about 19% to 2015 before taking a small drop back down to about 17.5% before spiking to over 20% 2017 before dropping a little bit more. This is according to the CDC Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System, which is a system put in place that helps monitor for certain behavioral risk factors and has been very effective in percentages of depression and other mental health issues. Potential roots. According to the researchers at Harvard Health, factors such as poor mood regulation by the brain, genetic vulnerability, stressful life events, diet, and lifestyle choices, among other factors, all seem to contribute to depression. Depression can be difficult to treat as the conditions that can lead to it can be hard to pinpoint and therefore be challenging to prevent or remove completely from a person's life. Research on depression and other mental conditions is relatively new, and solutions are being found now more than ever. Depression's effect on the brain. So on screen right now we have an MRI showing the differences between a healthy brain and a brain with chronic depression. You can see there's a vast difference in the amount of activation in the frontal cortex as compared to a healthy individual and a depressed individual. This is likely due to the frontal cortex's role in feelings of self-appraisal, self-approval, and just overall self-esteem and mood regulation as well, and a lack of these factors can lead to chronic depression. How to avoid depressive thoughts. Almost everyone will experience some form of depression in their lives, as it is impossible to avoid stressful or unwanted situations and thoughts from occurring. However, according to Timothy J. Legg, PhD, PhD from Healthline, things like exercise, adequate sleep, a balanced diet, reduced alcohol and drug use, strong relationships, positive outlets, and cutting back on social media use can all reduce the risk of depressive thoughts or episodes. Recognizing reality. One of the biggest contributors to depressive episodes are known as intrusive thoughts. According to Kelly Bellotto, former executive editor at Harvard Women's Health Watch, intrusive thoughts are unwanted thoughts that come into the mind seemingly out of nowhere and can be recurring or distressing. These thoughts can be a variety of images and are typically violent or sexual in nature. These kinds of thoughts can cause extreme anxiety, and for people with depression, they can be very hard to get rid of. These thoughts can lead people to have erratic behaviors or suicidal thoughts. Bellotto explains that the best way to overcome these thoughts is to remember that thoughts are not reality and in no way represent the person's feelings or motives about the images in their mind. Treatments such as exposure therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, shortened for CBT, have been found to be successful in treating depressive or intrusive thoughts. Conclusion. In conclusion, most Americans neglect their mental health, and the current spike in depression is no coincidence. Americans need to become more aware of the effects bad mental health can cause on a person and ways to maintain and spread good mental health. If you or a loved one is suffering from depression or any other mental disorder, remember that you are not alone, and never be afraid to reach out, as there are always people willing to listen. This topic has sparked a big passion in me, as I've been someone who has struggled with mental health in the past, and I myself can admit that I do not reach out to other people enough, and most of my peers that I know that also suffer with mental health also don't reach out enough. So I encourage you and everyone out there to continue to fight your battle for mental health in whatever way it may be that gives you a positive outlook on life. And I just want to thank you for listening to my speech. To add on, this is my works cited page.